When I started this job, I'd never really experienced anything supernatural.
We loved this house, but I didn't feel alone.
I'm alone in the dark, and I can see a shadow figure pacing in front of me.
It became a nightmare almost overnight.
There was something on my chest. I could not breathe.
It was a ghost in my room. Please don't harm me.
This can't be real. There's no face, there's no face. Oh my God, there's no face.
I saw a ghost, and then I became a ghost.
I honestly have never been that scared in my life.
It's early 2020, and a worldwide health crisis has hit Central Florida, flooding its hospitals with patients.
You're gonna be okay, sir. We're gonna take care of you, okay? You're gonna be fine.
Among the many first responders fighting the crisis is firefighter and EMT Ting.
I love my job because it is a challenge every day.
You got it.
And I get to meet different people and be able to help them out at the same time.
It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
We're at the front of the pandemic here. We're gonna be dealing with people from all over the world because we're in Central Florida. They vacation here.
Halfway through her shift, Ting suddenly starts to feel unwell.
I'm not feeling right. I got an extreme headache.
Are you okay?
I think I'm just overheated or something. Let's just take care of him. Let's just admit him, okay?
Yeah, all right.
I thought maybe I was dehydrated from working, and it would go away.
But it doesn't go away.
I went to the emergency room. My headache is worse. My head feels like it's hemorrhaging. The nurse goes, well, have you been exposed to any patients with COVID-19?
Well, I work at the fire department. I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna take your temperature. So you have a fever.
She goes, you have a fever. We're gonna admit you to the hospital.
Ting is placed in a negative pressure room designed for COVID-19 patients.
It felt like I weighed 1,000 pounds. I couldn't even form complete sentences. I was crashing. I was going down. I am just resting, and all of a sudden, I started hearing footsteps in my room. But I couldn't see anybody. I know when somebody enters the room. I can hear a whoosh. The air pressure makes a distinctive noise. But the whooshing sound of the door did not happen. It was definitely heavy boots. Boom, boom, boom. I'm alone in the dark. I'm scared, and I can see a shadow figure pacing in front of me.
Hello? Is anyone there?
I actually said out loud, hello? Hello?
Hello?
All of a sudden, I could see a man sitting there, and he was just staring out. At first, I didn't understand. I was like, oh, how did that person get in here? But then I realized it was a ghost in my room. I'm not able to move. I'm not able to scream for help. I'm not able to move my body or defend myself if he was to cause me harm.
Just let me rest.
I just said out loud, just please let me rest. Please don't harm me. Please let me rest. He was nervous, he was stressed, and just anticipating something to happen.
Miss Rappa, got some good news for you.
The nurse goes, "You're not positive, so you don't have COVID."
So we're gonna move you to another room and start you on some antibiotics right away, okay?
In my opinion, Ting saw something called residual energy. And what that is a replaying of sounds, sights, smells, which is what at one point in the space itself, but at the end of the day is just repeating itself like a needle on a phonograph. The lack of communication ultimately and the lack of interaction ultimately tells me that at the end of the day, this entity probably wasn't trying to communicate anything. It was an image that was repeating within the space over and over again.
So now that I'm out of quarantine, I'm in a different room. I could actually open my eyes for a longer period of time. Now I'm able to hold full sentences. I'm a little bit more alert because the medications have kicked in. And I'm getting to know my nurses.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, what's your question?
I said, "Did anybody ever mention anything weird about that room?" She kind of had this stunned look on her face.
I don't know if I should tell you this.
What did they see?
And she goes, "Well, I don't know if I should tell you this, but the patient I had last week said there were ghosts in that room."
There's a lot we can't explain in this hospital.
Somebody else that had the same encounter I had, that they heard the footsteps, they saw somebody in their room. It just made me feel a little bit better. You know that you're not going crazy.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, there has definitely been an increase in reports of paranormal activity. There's been a lot of fear. There's been a lot of fear of the unknown specifically. And whenever we have a combination of a lack of control and a fear state of mind, often we end up with an increase, especially in hospital wards, of paranormal activity and things like that.
A few minutes later, I fell into a deep sleep. There is something wrong. I was actually panicking on the inside. I was able to free myself from my body that wasn't functioning very well at that time. My head is pounding. Walk out of the hospital. I walk to a construction site. And I see this guy carrying a long metal pole. He's one of the construction workers.
Sir, excuse me. Excuse me, sir.
And I go, "Excuse me, you guys are making too much noise. Do you mind being a little bit quieter?"
Excuse me.
I saw a ghost, and then I became a ghost.
Ting. Ting.
And then the next thing I know, I'm being woken up by the nurse going, "Oh, you were really out on that one."
Did you just get on shift?
Yeah, I did. Why?
I said, Did you come in through the hospital to the front entrance? Is there construction down there? Are they putting up tents?
Yeah, they're for the extra COVID patients, but how do you know about that?
She's telling me that I can't hear that from here because I'm on the 7th floor in the back of the hospital.
I was there. I don't know how, but I was there.
I don't know how I got there, but I just felt like I was there. I really don't know how to explain it. Who gets to become a ghost? Who doesn't get to become a ghost? But it is absolutely fascinating that I know there's definitely life after death for sure.
It's 2016 in a small New England town. At the local hospital, Nurse Patty Casey devotes her time to helping local residents after a career in the military.
I started out as a combat medic, did 2 tours of deployments, and then I became an RN with my bachelor's, and I've been a nurse ever since. Love every bit of it. My husband is a nurse as well. He loves his job. We share the same passion for nursing. I can see any bit of 20 people in a day, and everybody is fascinating. Everybody comes with a story. Usually by the time we're done, we're laughing. And that, to me, is a great accomplishment because we take something that's usually very traumatic and very hurtful and turn it around to a conversation of, hey, how you doing? And let's get this done.
Patty has just moved into a new house with her family.
We found this beautiful, absolutely beautiful house. We put an offer in and it was accepted. It was just the dream house.
Hey, it's homework time.
Mom.
I said it's homework time, not screen time. Come on, get it done before dinner.
Shortly after moving in,
Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite.
Patty starts to question if the house is as perfect as they first thought.
We loved this house, but there was something, it was like a cloud hanging over me. There was just a presence. I could not explain it. It was a heaviness on your shoulders. I didn't feel alone. The house needed some work. We were painting walls, fixing floors, doing just general repairs, making it our own. There was a Tuesday afternoon, and I was painting some heat registers. I was alone. I heard footsteps come up the steps.
Jason?
I look up expecting to see my husband. There was nobody there. I felt so scared because I thought for sure I heard them walk all the way up the stairs.
Hello?
And I saw that there was no husband and there was nobody there.
Hello, is somebody there?
I kept saying to myself, well, you did 2 deployments. You went overseas. This shouldn't scare you. So I felt odd, but I was still scared.
If someone's in here, there's gonna be hell to pay.
I looked around for a little bit and I thought, there's not even a spider in here. And I feel this cool breeze coming from upstairs. It was coming almost like a jet from up above, down over me, and it was cold. It was almost like you open the window on a October day, and that cool breeze comes in your window. That's exactly how it felt.
What the hell?
I stepped to the side, and there was no breeze. I really thought that windows were open upstairs. So I go all the way up the steps. But when I got up there and found all the windows were closed, I thought, wow. I had no idea what this was. I went back downstairs, the cool breeze was gone. I truly didn't know what was going on. Am I going a little crazy? I cried. I couldn't share it with my husband because I thought he'd think I was crazy.
Later that day, Patty retreats to the safety of her bedroom to rest.
I was in the master bedroom. And I laid down, looked up, and all of a sudden I couldn't move. There was something on my chest. I could not breathe. I was terrified. Felt like I couldn't move and somebody was sitting on my chest. Then all of a sudden, it let go.
Hey, sweetie. I'm gonna go watch a little TV, okay?
Okay.
You good?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm fine.
I felt kind of lost. I knew I was not alone, and all I wanted to do was get out of this house. I just wanted out. I did not want to be there, just finish it, paint it, and then be done. And I knew my husband wanted to live there. The kids wanted to live there, they loved it, but I was so scared.
Many of the symptoms of this haunting appear to be residual at first glance. But then we get down to the physical symptom of chest pressure. That's more an indication of an intelligent haunting, that a spirit was trying to interact on a physical level with the new tenant of the house. Whatever the nature of the entity that's haunting Patty's home, one thing's for sure, we have a lady who is scared to be within her own four walls. Something has to be done.
The next day, the family's handyman is at the house to continue with repair work.
Hey, Kenny.
Hey, how's it going?
And one of the workers, he was a big guy.
You enjoying the place?
The kind of guy that doesn't scare easy. The kind of guy that you want to take with you and you knew you were going to be protected.
Something here bothering you?
And I said, what are you talking about? He said, Patty, I hear footsteps all the time around here.
Creeps me the hell out.
I was like, why didn't you tell me, Kenny? And that's when I really knew. I felt vindicated with him telling me that I was not, in fact, crazy.
Thanks, Kenny.
Sure.
I felt so validated, so validated. It was like a silent burden I had been carrying around.
As work on the house continues, Patty takes photos of the areas that need to be repaired by the handyman.
So one day I said, I'm gonna take some pictures. And I hear this bird and he is just screaming. And it was a big crow. And I don't know why he is screeching. I have to wonder, those crows were telling me to get out of there because maybe something bad was coming. The hair on the back of my neck stood up again. Somebody was there, and I saw them.
What the hell's going on, Patty?
Just look.
I had never actually seen anything. This time, I had actually saw what was in the house, and it scared me. I did not know what to do. Now, I'm really uncomfortable.
Despite their unease, Patty and her husband try to regain a sense of normalcy. As her husband waits, Patty grabs her coat to run errands.
Felt as if there was somebody within 10 feet of me.
Get out.
I feel the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. I saw it. I don't know how to describe it. It was like a bubble cloud. There were no distinct arms or legs. You could not see a face. I felt like whatever it was looking right at me. I honestly have never been that scared in my life. honestly have never been that scared in my life.
What the hell happened?
She wants us out.
Who's she?
I needed to fix this. We went back in, turned the lights on, but still, there was just a presence. I could not explain it.
In a search for answers, Patty and her husband look for clues to explain the dark presence.
There were some items left behind by the previous owner, and the family had asked that we donate them. The woman had died from cancer. Little by little, piece by piece, this was all starting to make sense.
I think she passed away here, in the master bedroom.
I can't believe this is happening.
Maybe she couldn't let go.
We can't deal with this alone.
I needed to get some help.
There seem to be 3 types of haunting: haunted places, haunted objects, and haunted people. And in this particular case, it seems as if the spirit is attached to the place itself. This would be the location in which the lady died. She passed away within these 4 walls. And it seems as if some part of her has either remained behind or returns periodically in visitation. This was their home, that they loved being here and really don't want to leave.
Desperate for peace, Patty and Jason enlist the help of a spiritual cleanser.
Bless this house. Make it pure.
We go over into the master bedroom now, and the room is ice cold. I got the chills.
Talk to her. Let her know that it's okay to go.
I know this was your house once, but it's time to move on. We'll take good care of this place.
I'm grateful that that woman finally has peace. Now, we're going to stay put right where we're at and be a family and be loving and have good times. I am so much more at peace. I am so much more happy. This experience has really changed me and opened my eyes because I've never experienced somebody from the afterlife trying to connect. I knew that what had happened was real. And I know that people have to pass. And I know we have an afterlife to go to. And sometimes being a nurse, our job is to help them find that afterlife and find the right place to go and feel comfortable going.
In the land of the midnight sun, security guard Nigel starts the first of 3 consecutive night shifts at an old hospital.
100 or some years ago, it had been a hospital for the sick and the infirm, as far as I know. I don't like hospitals. I've never really got a good vibe in hospitals. You know, you always sort of would look up and expect to see somebody looking out of a window or something. You kind of felt watched. When I started this job, I did sort of believe that maybe there was something on the other side or a supernatural, but I'd never really experienced anything auditory or visually or anything like anything that would make me believe that there was something out there. As a security guard, I had to make sure that at night that nobody could gain entrance to the building. It was pretty much locked down. This job that I was doing that was so simple and so easy, it turned out to be anything but. It became a nightmare almost overnight. On any given shift, I had to do anywhere between 3 and 5 rounds of the entire building. I had to check every door. The first night, I had made it about halfway through my rounds, and I was on the 2nd floor. I stopped, and it was sort of this weird feeling. I was supposed to make sure that the door at the end of the hallway was locked. And I see something I can't really explain. It's this black, long, slender, humanoid, I don't know, human shape. There was this like malevolence to it. I couldn't even move. I was petrified. I had never seen anything that scary in my entire life. With it came this feeling of, don't come near, this is my territory, you don't belong here. And this feeling of if I went down there, you know, something could happen to me. Your training kicks in and you go, okay, I've got to open this door. There's nothing there. There's nothing to see. I was looking around going, well, what could this be? You know, I'm looking here, I'm looking there. Like, it has to be on the cameras. There's got to be evidence. You can see it, nothing on the camera, me reacting, me freaking out, you can see that I'm agitated. There was nothing, there was absolutely nothing to indicate that what I had just witnessed was, you know, real or physical or anything. I sort of questioned my sanity a little bit. They're going to think I'm nuts, that I'm seeing things now, and they're going to say, oh, you're going to need time off, and I need this job, I need the money. So, you know, you start to rationalize. You go, well, maybe I just saw things.
Nigel's shift is finally over, but his replacement can't arrive soon enough.
When I finally saw my colleague's car, you know, pulling into the drive, that's sort of when I could breathe a sigh of relief and went home. I had a very sort of restless sleep, and then I had to report back the next day. As I'm pulling into the building, the feeling returns. That, you know, I'm being watched not by my colleagues, but by something in there.
The next night, Nigel musters the courage to do his rounds.
I got to that section that I'd had the incident at, and I looked down the hallway, and there was nothing. I was creeped out. I couldn't bring myself to walk back down that hallway. I froze up again. I couldn't physically walk down that hallway again. I was that scared. I was on my last round of the second night. I was in a different section of the building. I had to go in. I had to make sure that all of the doors were secure. It was this feeling of dread.
Hello?
It's the same feeling. It's the sparks going up your back. You're tingly. Your hair is standing up on end. I was in a cold sweat.
You always want to pay attention to your intuition. It's there to protect you. You have these spidey senses that are there for your survival. Is there anyone in there?
I turn around, and there's a gentleman sitting there in a chair. He was wearing an old hospital gown. Everything in my body seized up. Am I crazy? What's happening here? I go to the cameras and I play back the last, 10 minutes. There's nothing in the chair. I'm thinking to myself, okay, no, this has got to stop. I'm gonna end up, sounding like some crazy person. So I'm writing all the paperwork for the evening. I had to write nothing to report because there was nothing physical. I was contemplating calling in sick for the final night. But, as a security guard, you're supposed to be tough so that you can protect other people. So I talked myself back into going in that third and final night. I was raised Catholic. I had called my mom. I just sort of said, can you just say a prayer for me? Be protected and watched over. I'm already on high alert. The adrenaline's pumping.
Nigel is filled with dread as he enters the basement to do his rounds.
I'm walking down and the morgue door is open. It's supposed to be locked. This is really, really bad. The feeling of dread comes back. There was electricity in the air. There was something very different about that night that made the other 2 nights feel like nothing had happened. I'm freaking out. This can't be real. There's no face, there's no face. Oh my God, there's no face. I had never seen anything that scary in my entire life. I hear squeak, 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 and I'm hearing 2 sets of footsteps. As they're coming out of this mist, there was a nurse and there was a doctor. I could see that there was a cloth over this body. Her heels were clicking on the floor. I wasn't there to them. They were not reacting to me. And I'm looking at them with my mouth open. I'm horrified that there's no features, that there's no face. Full shock, full stop. I sort of closed my eyes and held my breath. They passed through me. It went completely through my body, out the other side. It felt horrifying and disgusting, like I'd been violated. I'm looking down at myself. Is there anything on me? There's nothing. I gotta get the hell out of here. I left my job, my home, my career. This was something that completely changed my life, my beliefs. Fundamentally changed kind of who I am as a person. I definitely believe that there's an afterlife and that there's something on that other side that can interact with us. Perhaps that there was some reason that I was in the right place, the right time to have that experience. It was something that kind of shook me to my core, and I didn't want to experience that again.